Super Bowl 50 will kick off in 48 hours, and we'll take a look at the best trends to help you pick the winners this year, as well as the best props to have fun with and make some money. As OFN NFL Preview on the Our Lads Football Radio Network starts now. All right, thanks for tuning in to OFN NFL Preview for Super Bowl 52 for this Friday, February 2nd, 2018. Unfortunately, my co-host all season long, Tony Mejia, could not make it today, so we wish Tony all the best. Thank him for a great season in NFL coverage. We'll give you his top lock prop for Super Bowl 50 in just a bit. Of course, you can reach Tony at vegasinsider.com. Don't forget that. Tony is a very successful football handicapper, does a great job. I've been with Tony for many years in the industry. Some years work, some years don't work, but this year worked. So it was good that we were able to get together for him all season long. And he's real busy with football. Obviously, this is a major time for him as a handicapper. So check him out for his picks, his prop bets, and all of that over at vegasinsider.com. Now, I've got some for you. Again, I'm going to give you his lock prop in just a bit. I'm going to go over a couple of props that I like, and then we're going to get into the top trends that you need to keep an eye on for the Super Bowl, and we'll do that as well. Now, we just want to remind everybody that since this is our last show, and we've had a nice following, we've had good reception, and we just want to let everybody know that we are just going to keep on rolling throughout the year. We've got our, and it's not just handicapping football games. You know, we've got our college and NFL coverage, not just for handicapping games, but of course, just for the fun of it, the enjoyment of it. Of course, this is a really big few months coming up. We've got a ton of free agency talk. I've been spitting out some off-season previews. I'm going to try to get to all 32 before the March 15th deadline, I believe, for free agency to begin. We'll definitely get them all in before the draft at the end of April. Of course, I executive producer at ourlads.com's football network, so that's all about scouting, and this is a busy time for Dan Schonk at Our Lads. So we're going to have a ton of fun getting everybody ready for the draft. So keep that in mind. We've got our draft shows with Dan Schonka, which are pretty much going to air almost every week. I mean, once we really get on a roll with Dan on those shows, we're going to be breaking down positions every week, specific players every week. And then, of course, we get closer to the draft, we'll have our mock draft reports. And really the main part of it doesn't come until after the combine, because that's when we get, all the measuring, times, height, weight, and all that stuff. That is very important for the final measuring stick on these players and their rankings and stuff. So that's why we don't even offer any mock drafts until then, because why do it? It's a little too early right now. I know it's clickbait for a lot of websites, but we don't go there. We just kind of do it the way we think we should do it. We're not going to, I know, look, Mel Kiper is going to do it because that's what he gets paid for, to throw out a mock draft. What was it, a couple of weeks ago on TV? It's just too early. I mean, a mock draft makes no sense before free agency. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. So we're going to wait for the combine to come and go, and then we're going to wait for free agencies probably the first couple of weeks. So we probably won't even have our own first mock draft until end of March, beginning of April. Because that's once you get through a couple of weeks of free agency, that's when you really know what holes need to be filled on every team. Then we can go into the draft and say, here's how those holes get filled. So, because look what's happening right now at Alex Smith, the Alex Smith trade. Now I got to believe Kirk Cousins. I mean, we all were wondering when are we going to know about Kirk Cousins? Well, it could be soon. My best guess is that Kirk Cousins goes to Denver. I really believe that that's where he's going to go. As a Jet fan, I'm kind of torn. If I knew that they were going to get somebody like Baker Mayfield, I'd rather have Baker Mayfield than Kirk Cousins, because he's a lot cheaper, and I think Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in the class. If I'm going to get a hold of Sam Darnold, then I want Kirk Cousins probably. I don't trust Sam Darnold. I won't be upset if the Jets get him, but I don't trust him as much as I would say, you know what, let's go for it with Kirk Cousins. But you don't know these things. I'm a fan. I'm not a member of the Jet organization. But it's going to be a lot of fun tracking these free agents and, of course, the draft picks for the next few months. Also, don't forget that we've got our college basketball coverage is going to be really stepping up once we get towards the end of this month, because the conference tournaments begin at the end of this month. Don't forget that. So the first conference tournament is actually on Monday, and that is the Atlantic Sun. That's the 26th of February. So that kickstarts the college basketball conference tournaments. So we'll be on top of that at the end of the month, all the way through to the Final Four. We've got a couple of our college basketball analysts with us, Jamal Murphy, Scott Zolatoro. So we're going to have all sorts of, especially when the brackets come out, we're going to make sure that we do those shows as early as possible in the week so you can fill out your bracket contests, and we'll go through all of that. Of course, we also, by the way, post our futures for college basketball. We've already started that a few weeks ago. I post it every week at primesportsnetwork.com. And what else do we got going on with some of our other shows over at Prime Sports Network, which, of course, is a partner of our lads outside of football. We've got our Daytona 500 NASCAR coverage starting in a couple of weeks as well. And also we'll have NASCAR futures reports. We still have futures reports for the NHL just starting. I don't do NBA because the NBA is ridiculous. I mean, it's always Golden State and Cleveland and Golden State and Cleveland. So, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to pick the championship winner of the NBA, and you can't make any money off of it either. So I don't waste my time with it. Okay, now let's get back to football. Oh, I must say this, though. We have a new partner when you're going to be wagering your Super Bowl props, your picks, and so forth. So if you are a new listener or if you've been listening to us for a while, we're pretty picky with our sponsors, especially, our sportsbook sponsors. If we're going to have a partner, we only want to have the best. So we just put a deal with one of the best at uwager.eu. So uwager, there's a banner on our homepage, uwager banner. So if you click that banner and you sign up at uwager, we'll get credit for it. So that's a partner for us. So definitely for any of your football or any sport, and you want to, it's just not football, it's for everything. And you're looking for a sports book that's going to help you out, and it's going to give you your money when your money is due, then go to uwager.eu. That's a banner up on our website. So check that out. Now they've got a few, I was taking a look at some of their props. Some of their most popular props. And then I'm also going to go over some other props that I just picked out, some of my favorite. I know some of the props that are the most popular at uwager. You've got, well, everybody wants to bet heads and tails. I mean, I don't know why. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. I've said this many times before. I mean, whenever I do props for the Super Bowl, I'm only doing props if I can make money off of it, meaning if it's 8-1, 5-1, 10-1, 20-1. It's like last year, I hit on the overtime bet, which was 9-1. So, but heads to tails is a popular bet. It's minus 105 if you pick heads or you pick tails. Now, it's interesting because I do have it's a parlay prop. It's one that I've never seen before, and I'm going to play it because it's a 16-1 prop. Now, it includes heads or tails, so I could lose the prop, like the game doesn't even start, and I've already lost the prop. But the prop is, and I think it is, let's see, what is it? Now, this is just specifically one, and everybody's got their own props all over the world, all over sports books, Vegas casinos, and everything. But this one is, again, it's basically 5 props in one. So first of all, it has to be heads on the coin toss, okay? Second of all, the New England Patriots have got to be the team that gets penalized first, okay? They have to get the first penalty, New England. If Philadelphia gets a flag first, I lose. Of course, if it's tails, I lose. So let's say it's heads. All right, great, 50-50 chance, got that. Oh, penalty, New England, offsides, great, penalty. I'm two out of 5. Because to me, those are the 2 hardest of this parlay. If I can get through the first 2, I got a shot. Because the first 2 is luck. The other 3 is taking Philly plus 4.5 on the points, going over 48.5, and saying Tom Brady passes for over 285 yards. If I get that, the 3 ones that takes a little bit of not so much luck. After the 2 with luck, then I've got a shot. So it's a 16-1 shot that I like. But going back to uwager, Again, heads and tails is out there. Which team wins the toss? New England or Philadelphia? That's also at minus 105 at UWager. Will there be over 110.5 million viewers? Yes, minus 120. No, below 110.5 million viewers, minus 110. So it's kind of even. But again, these are very popular, and most of the prop bets that are popular are the ones that are pretty much even. I'm different. Now, how long will it take for Pink, who's going to sing the national anthem? How long will it take for Pink to sing the national anthem? If you think it's going to take Pink over 2 minutes, minus 140. Under 2 minutes, plus 110. And there's also Pink's hair color. That's also pretty popular. So anyway, those are some of the popular ones, and there's a whole bunch at UWager, but those are some of the more popular ones. Now, some others that I did, and now I'm going to share with you Tony's lock prop. Now, here's his lock prop. Tony says, will Justin Timberlake, well, here's the prop question. Will Justin Timberlake cover a Prince song at halftime? All right. Now, I agree with Tony's prop here because I was actually surprised that you can get 2-1 on yes, because I'll be surprised if he doesn't. Okay, so if you think Justin Timberlake will cover a Prince song at halftime, 2-1. Now, if you think he won't, it's minus 300. All right, so but that's his lock prop of the Super Bowl for Tony Mejia. Another one that is you got some good odds on this one. How will Justin Timberlake enter the arena? Through a zip line, that's a cable or a rope, 2-1 odds. So you can't really make much there. I guess that's what most people believe. That's how he's going to enter the arena. I guess there's no walk here, so if he just walks in, it'd be pretty boring. Car, 5-1. Motorcycle, 7-1. Jetpack, 15-1. Dog sled, I mean, it is Minnesota, 20-1. And a parachute, 50-1. I don't know how he's going to do a parachute. That probably ain't going to happen. That's why he's 50-1. All right, now, before we move on from the game itself and the props itself, let's keep in mind that there are other pretty good regular props like MVP, who's going to win the MVP. There's a whole bunch of them, and you know it. There's hundreds of them. So it's always fun, you know. If you're, to me, I think the prop bets that's the reason why I only use them. I don't go to Super Bowl parties or anything like that. I've been to them, but I just don't normally. But if you go to a Super Bowl party, I mean, what Super Bowl parties are there without props? So it's always, that's why the fun ones come into effect. Because if you got girls who aren't really, or guys that really aren't into football, but they only do it for Super Bowl reasons, Super Bowl party reasons, and these are the bets that they're going to get involved with. They're not going to get involved with, I don't know, like I mentioned, who the MVP of the Super Bowl is. I mean, here's one. How many times will Tom Brady's age be mentioned? Over 1.5 or under 1.5? So if it's under 1.5, 2-1. All right. So apparently, interesting, that they believe that Tom Brady's age will be mentioned at least twice in the Super Bowl. Okay, that's minus 300. That's how much they believe. That crew will announce Tom Brady's age at least twice. All right, now let's get right to the nitty-gritty as far as what we really need to cover here. And that is that's some trends, our picks. Well, we already told you our pick because we told you we were going to take that parlay with Philadelphia at plus 4.5. I think the odds are pretty much leveled off now. They're still like about 4.5. The money line is about plus 155, plus 160. And that's if you're going to go with the Eagles. Of course, the Patriots is about minus 200. All right, now here's a good one. And we've talked about the winning cover philosophy all season on this show. And it works in the Super Bowl too, okay? So here, this is important because if you like the Patriots, now I'm going to give you a conflicting couple of trends here, though. If you like the Patriots and you're bothered by the spread, then this trend says don't be bothered by the spread. Why? Because the team that has won the Super Bowl the last 8 years has covered the Super Bowl the last 8 years. So my win and spread trend, the stat that I've given you all season long, applies for the Super Bowl. 8 straight and 11 out of the last 12. Okay, so this really just covers the Patriots. So if you like the Patriots, you shouldn't worry about the spread. But here's the conflicting situation. New England, since Tom Brady's been in the Super Bowl, the Pats, 7 Super Bowls. In 6 of 7 Super Bowls, okay, the Super Bowls, actually, you know what? I don't even want to give that one. Let's give this one. This is better. New England's 5 wins, because this goes to if they win, should you worry about them covering? And I just said no, based on the win and cover trend. Now, how about this, though? New England's 5 wins in the Super Bowl, okay? They're 5-2 with Brady. I'm only talking the Brady Super Bowls. Their 5 wins with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl have been decided by an average of 3.8 points per game. How about that? 3.8 points per game. That is not a lot. And if you think about it, the Patriots are 5-2 straight up in the Super Bowl, just 3-4 against the spread with Brady. Okay, 5-2 straight up, 3-4 against the spread with Brady in the Super Bowl. Now remember the last 2 Super Bowls, how they barely survived Seattle. Everybody thought Seattle was going to win that game. Hand it off to Lynch, whatever. I mean, a fluky play in the end zone, and New England holds on to win. So let's say they hand the ball off to Lynch, he scores a touchdown, game over, New England loses, look, seriously, if the game had stopped there for like 10 minutes and everybody was willing to bet on it, I mean, the odds would have been probably like 10-1 that the Patriots are going to win that game. You know, you would have had to put up big money to work against the Seahawks not winning that game. So, but the Patriots found a way. Then they have the miracle comeback last year, which killed me because, as you know, if you listened to my show last year, I was big on Atlanta going into the postseason. They were my pick to win the Super Bowl going into the postseason. Of course, I picked them to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I felt real good about my chances, obviously, in the third quarter until they tanked it. But they came back and won in overtime. At least I got that. At least I got the overtime in the Super Bowl, so I did get that prop. But what happened is the Patriots in their last 2 Super Bowl wins basically won by miracles. Miracles. And the miracle wins by the Patriots in these 2 Super Bowls, and let's say they don't get the miracle wins. That means that they would have been 3-4 straight up under Brady in the Super Bowl. And let's see, 3-4 straight up, and 1-6 against the spread. How about that? I mean, that tells you right there. I mean, they were 3-2 straight up, 1-4 against the spread before their last 2 miracle wins. So what it's saying is that the Patriots, unless they get a miracle win in a Super Bowl, aren't usually going to win these games by big margins, and they're not going to cover. So you have now got conflicting trends, and you're probably going, well, why did you do that for me? I didn't learn anything. Well, you did. It's just now up to you whether or not you want to take either one. All right. I've given you both options. You have them. You decide for yourself. Now, of course, I'm picking the Eagles because this is really more for people who want to pick the Patriots. Okay. Because obviously the Eagles win, they're going to cover. So it's not going to matter. But it is interesting that if you really do look at all the Patriots Super Bowl wins, how not only the last 2 been these miracle wins, but just about every game has been a miracle win. Not miracle win or a loss, really. Look at the Giant losses. Those were miracle losses. The Giants had 2 miracle wins against them. And then, of course, the Patriots with how they were able to win and last-second field goals. Against Carolina, against the Rams is a big upset, a big 14-point dog. So the Patriots, boy, when they get into Super Bowls, win or lose, they're great Super Bowls. So that's something that you got to think about, which is why you might want to think about the money line if you like the Patriots. That would probably see if you like the Patriots, but you're like, yeah, I don't know about the spread. Well, you know what? You have a couple of days before the Super Bowl. Go ahead and you've got some action this weekend. I mean, you could actually now you can't do it on the PGA, but you could do it. You could do a parlay with the European Tour. I don't know. Go out and if you're a big NBA guy or college basketball guy or hockey guy, try to do some parlays with that. And then the last game on your list is the Patriots money line. Maybe that's the way to go. If you don't mind putting up 2-1. I mean, I don't do that. I've said that before. I mean, I will never money line a favorite more than minus 135. 140 is the most I'll do. I just don't believe in the value of it. But it is the Super Bowl, and that comes along once a year, and then, it should be for fun as well. But anyway, I do like the Eagles, and I've said this pretty much, as you know, for months, the last couple of months since the Patriots have looked the way they have, and I don't think anything changed. If you look at it, we saw it against Pittsburgh, we saw it against Jacksonville, which is, they win these games, but for the most part, during the games, they're not looking all that great. And can you keep doing that? Can you keep bailing yourself out time in and time out, especially when you now have to step up and play a team as good and as hot as the Eagles? I said this with Tony a couple weeks ago. If you're taking a look at the team to beat next year, it's the Eagles, because they're going to get Carson Wentz. I think they're the best team in football right now. I've said it all year with Carson Wentz. Don't forget. I mean, I never thought after Carson Wentz went down with the injury that I'd be able to sit here with all those futures. Of course, my future report looks pretty awesome right now. I mean, what a bargain for me. Now, of course, I have nothing on the Patriots, and why should I? They've been 2-1 all year. I'm not going to make any money off the Patriots. It's like making money off Golden State in the NBA playoffs. I mean, in the NBA championship. But I've got, let's see, what do I have with my Philadelphia futures? I have my most recent was a low one, 5-1 on December 2nd. But I've got 5-1 on November 16th for the Eagles. And that's because I was really, so positive about the Eagles at that point in time that even 5-1, I was going, no, I'm just going to keep hitting it. But I have 30-1 on the Eagles on October the 12th. I have, wait, is that it? Is that my total? 30-1 Eagles on the 12th. 5-1 on the 16th, 5-1 on the 2nd. Okay, so what's the total there? Let me get the total there. So, that's 5 based on mine. It's 5. That's 10. There you go. Okay, so that's that's what I have with the Eagles. So obviously, that's the team that I need to win for my futures. Not going to make a whole lot of money, but at least I was in a position where I figured I'm not even going to count the Eagles number at all. Why would I worry about the future money with Carson Wentz going down? But I've got that now, so I'm happy. But if I don't have any futures and I'm sitting there at plus 160, you're saying, should you take the points or should you go with the money line? It's a close call. It really is. Because, again, I just mentioned the trends. If you're looking at it as an Eagles perspective, boy, I'm looking at that now, and I'm probably thinking, you know what, with the way our team's going right now, and the way the Patriots aren't going to blow us out unless Nick Foles just all of a sudden has a terrible game. But and the Patriots are just not. I mean, they just haven't played. I mean, we've said it all year. Everybody knows it. This is not. Look, I said this on several other shows. Just imagine if the Patriot team from I'm trying to think about which one. I'll go to. I could even go to the. You know what? Yeah, I could even go to the one that did barely beat Seattle. I can go to that team. I can go to almost any New England team. I can even go to last year's team. Those New England teams are so much better than this New England team. I mean, this New England team, if they were going up against one of the previous Patriot championship teams, or let's say the last one that beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they would be, I'd say, minimum 7-point favorite over this Patriot team. Just like if you were going to take Alabama's championship team from 5-6 years ago, and match them up with the team that won the championship this year, I guarantee you that Alabama team from 5-6 years ago would be about a 10 to 14 point favorite. And you know what? That Alabama team from 5 or 6 years ago would have beaten this Alabama team by about 30. Okay, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. It's just. I mean, are you watching football? Can you see the level of play over the last several years? It's so. I mean, it's obvious. It's not there. I mean, the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl again, and they're not even anywhere near as good as they were last year. But this is the reason why I like the Eagles. Here's the thing. That's true. But the Eagles, the only reason that the Eagles are potentially not going to win this game matchup-wise is because of Nick Foles. So if Foles just plays the way he's been playing the last couple of games in the postseason, the Eagles win this game, and I'm not even sweating. There's no way that the Patriots beat the Eagles if Nick Foles has a good game. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say no way. The only way is it's going to have to be some miracle win. And if that happens, they're not covering. It's not going to be one of those wins, unless it goes to overtime like last year and then they score a touchdown. But if that were to happen, it happens. What are you going to do? So go ahead and take the overtime number just in case, too. Throw that in there. Take the Eagles and the overtime line. But that's also why you have to do debate the 4.5, the 4, whatever you're getting plus, against the money line, because because the Patriots historically have won and not covered these Super Bowls. And because I do believe that the Eagles are going to win, and I do believe that if the Eagles don't win, this is going to be a game where it's going to be very close, and the Patriots might have to win this one in a last-second field goal, last-second touchdown. That 4.5 points is going to look awfully good compared to having to win the game outright, especially, if you're dealing with Tom Brady. If there is a comfort factor in there, there's just no question about that. So it's a tough call, it really is. Everybody's different. All depends on your on not necessarily a point of view, but your pocket. I mean, what do you got? I mean, what are you dealing with there? So I'm good with it either way. I can, if you're somebody that really doesn't need that extra amount, you're okay financially, you can go ahead and do it. You're comfortable doing the straight wagering situations, then by all means, take the 4.5, buy the half a point, get 5, and I think you're sitting pretty. I really do. So I like the Eagles. It's really no surprise. Now, look, the against situation for me, since I like the Eagles, the AFC has won 3 straight Super Bowls and 4 of the last 5. If you're an over-under wager, the over is 5-2 in the last 7. I don't do overs or unders, totals, but I could definitely, if I'm looking at, that's why I did that parlay, because it's over whatever it was. What is it? Over 48.5. And I can definitely see that happening. I mean, I see this as a 27-24 type game. I think it'll be high scoring. I'd be shocked if it wasn't high scoring. Shocked. I mean, look, Eagles have a good defense, but is their defense as good as we've seen it the last couple of weeks? I don't know about that. I'm not so sure. I not against Brady, even if Brady's not on his top of his Hall of Fame career. I don't think so. I think the Eagles will be susceptible a little bit. Part of it has to do with the fact you're in a dome, so there's not those cold outdoor conditions that will favor a defense. I think that had to come into play a little bit as well. I mean, look, who did the Eagles beat in the 2 games in cold situations? 2 dome teams playing on the road. All right, so I don't think that's why I don't see that as an advantage here. Now the Eagles will give up points here, so I definitely would go with the over in the Super Bowl. And like I said, I'll take the Eagles plus the 4.5, and that's my pick. All right, so that'll wrap it up. Again, don't forget. We're going to have so much to cover from now to the NFL draft over at ourlads.com. So much to cover. I've got the offseason reports I'm putting out detailed. I've already got the Giants, the Browns out. The Broncos are out. I'm working on the Bucks now. Then once the Super Bowl is over, Josh McDaniels a Colt. I'll be working on the Colts. Jets will be coming out soon. I'll be working on those teams in the top 10 first, and then moving on down the line. I'll be posting, of course, all of that over at ourlads.com. You can follow us on Twitter at PrimeSN. Make sure you do that, because that's the best way of us letting you know whenever anything's available out there, our shows, our handicapping reports, anything in general that we're going to throw out there for you, especially our shows. That's the best way of finding out about when those things are available at ourlads.com. And as I also said in the beginning regarding Prime Sports Network, where I also own the website, we've got our college basketball coverage coming up, our Daytona 500 coverage coming up, and also don't forget to subscribe to UWager and do it on our site. Click through the banner and have fun. Have your prop fun bet. Go ahead, bet the Super Bowl. Bet, and as far as I'm concerned, yes, this is my show. And I'll be crossing my fingers that if you listen to my advice, or if you were kind of leaning that way anyway, hopefully I'll push you over the edge and the Eagles cover, maybe even win the game, and we'll all be happy on Sunday night. So once again, I want to thank Tony Mejia for all of his participation on the show this year over at VegasInsider.com. I also want to thank VegasInsider.com for being a partner and sponsor, helping to market this show all the way throughout the year. So I thank them as well. And that's it for this show. That's it. It's over. So don't forget, go to ourlads.com, go to the Ourlads Football Network for the rest of the next 3 or 4 months as we cover free agency and the NFL draft, because it's a year-round sport. That's what's great about football, college football, NFL. We're going to be here to cover it all. So enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. We're very happy to have you tuning in for us all season long. And we'll see you again next year. And we're going to have improved, even better college and pro football coverage, because it gets better every year. Our knowledge has to get better every year, right? That's the whole idea of it. So enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. We'll see you next time. Rise up and take the power back. It's time. A fat cat's had a heart attack. You know that.